Earlier this morning, lawmakers releasing details of a $1.2 trillion package to fund the government through the end of the fiscal year. But there's still a chance for a shutdown at the end of the day tomorrow. Join us now, Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Very good to have you on this morning, Mr. Speaker.
Hey, Joe, great to be with you. Thank you.
I guess many questions swirling around whether you waive the 72-hour rule. I just trying to read the body language in between the lines. I would say that is imminent, and you're going to have to do it that way and go for 2/3 and get some Democratic help. But that does show that you can govern.
It does. We're in a moment of divided government, and in fact, historically divided. As everybody knows now, we have famously the smallest majority in U.S. history. I have a 2-vote majority today. By next week, it'll be back down to 1. But we have to keep moving. We've got to keep the government funded. We have to keep operating, keep the train on the tracks, and you're seeing that happen here. So because of divided government, it's not a perfect piece of legislation. It's not the one we would draft and pass if the Republicans had control of the House, the Senate, and the White House, and I think you'll see that next year. But right now, we're managing it, getting it through, and I think we'll avoid a long shutdown for the government.
Yeah, and certain members of your caucus wouldn't even grant you that there's anything in here, any wins. They call crumb. I don't know what they call it, but there are some things in here that you got done, and there were things that former Speaker McCarthy accomplished that I don't think he got credit for. He was going to keep the government open and do what he thought was right no matter what, and we know what happened to him, but I don't think that the will's not there to do that again. And I think you can do what you think is right. And you know, that's what, just like he had to do it, it's something maybe you're going to have to do. You can tell me, though. I'm not going to put words in your mouth.
Well, look, I say it all the time, democracy is messy. It's particularly messy right now in a moment like this. But we have to get the job done. And there are some very substantial wins in here. 70% of this spending package is the Department of Defense. It's defense spending. And we all know what a critical time it is in that category right now. The world is on fire. We have unrest and hot wars around the globe. And our military, our troops are out serving valiantly, and they deserve to be paid for it. So in this package, we have the highest military pay raise in almost 40 years. We've also, at the same time, however, cut unnecessary and I think ridiculous spending. The DEI programs, for example, take a $50 million haircut here. So we can take care of our priorities and do the right thing. Another big piece of this is border security. You know, Republicans on our side, we want enforcement of the law. That's what the administration is not doing. So in this package, we're able to increase enforcement capacity. We're increasing the number of detention beds for ICE so that we can hold those who come in illegally. And we are supplying more Border Patrol agents, 22,000 of those. That was in our package, H.R. 2, our border security measure. So some of our objectives are being met. Some of them are being done. At the same time, in this package, we're also rescinding spending for the IRS expansion fund, about 20 billion of that. And then you got rescission of some of the other unnecessary duplicative spending. So we got some of the things we wanted. We didn't get everything we wanted, but we'll continue to move forward. And I think next year, a totally different process because we'll have the majorities in both chambers. I'm convinced of that.
So are you going to waive the 72 hour? Are you going to go that route? I'll tell you what I'm asking. If this is just what I'm hearing, that if you did give a delay, didn't do it, and let negotiations go on, I think 43 of your caucus members wrote you a letter that they want this, they want that. You know, it's just horrible. You're not getting anything. That's not why we were sent here. Out of that 43, I think one of them has voted yes on any budget whatsoever. So if you give them the weekend and you close the government and, help the Republicans snatch defeat from the jaws of victory one more time when the big election comes up, what do you get for it? So will you do the 72-hour waiver? Can you announce that now, Mr. Speaker?
Well, look, we have to get this job done. The 72-hour time period is it's a principle that we all defend. I always have. We want members to be able to understand legislation, have a time to review it before they vote on it, want a concept. So everybody is reading this quickly. They're doing that. And we'll see. I'm going to talk to colleagues this morning. I think we have to get this done by the weekend because I think the stakes are too high.
But that will mean to get 2/3, if you do waive it, there'll be a lot of Democrats, and you're willing to do that.
Well, it's what we have to do in divided government. We can't get a rule done on this for our own party, so that means you can't have a bare majority. Remember, we only have a 2-vote margin. You have to get 2/3. And so, yeah, by necessity, you have to get both parties to agree to a lot of this, and I think that's what will happen.
And the demise of Mike Johnson, we've heard that many times. In your view, I said earlier that I don't think there's the will to go the same route as they did with former Speaker McCarthy. If you do it, you don't expect the same outcome, do you?
I don't. I mean, look, everybody understands this is difficult right now. They all pat me on the back and say they have a lot of sympathy, the hardest job in the world, all of that. It's fine. Look, I'm very sober-minded about this, Joe. We have to get the job done.
I get that, too.
Yeah. Probably so.
We had Maya McGinnis on earlier, and we were talking about some of the long-term issues that we have in terms of spending and revenue and everything else. And she said, I don't have one positive thing to tell you about this report. We called it the highlights, but they were really the lowlights. And do you have an answer for what we need to do? Your candidate, former President Trump, won't touch Social Security or Medicare. Even when he didn't even say that, but when someone implied it, Biden immediately came out with an ad that said, I'm going to protect it. So neither candidate is going to touch that third rail. Should we?
No, we shouldn't. And here's the way that we'll do it. There's two completely different worldviews on this. You know, the Biden budget came out. It would make the largest tax increases in U.S. history, about $4.9 trillion in tax increases. It would raise the debt to about $52 trillion over the next 10 years. We can't go down that road. We're going to crash the U.S. economy. We all recognize that. So what we present is the alternative view, and that is our House Budget Committee passed their resolution here in the last couple of weeks, and it would balance the federal budget in 10 years and cut $15 trillion in spending while not affecting Social Security or Medicare. This is possible to do, but it takes very tough political choices, and you got to limit the size and scope of the federal government. What a concept! We've been talking about that for a long time. There is a path to do it, but it takes tough political choices. It takes political courage, and I think you'll see that in the days ahead. Because I believe the stakes are too high, and we have to save this economy, and I think we can, but it has to be the right policy choices.